Hey everybody, it's Friday, so it means it is time to review the rental stats for the week. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. Rental activity is up. That's good. I'm excited. I'm seeing more people publishing, their own efforts into, supplying in cards for the rental market, and that's what we need. We need more suppliers. We need more renters because the more liquidity there is in the market, the closer we can come to finding a real price discovery, market clearing. So. That's a large part of why I'm doing these posts, is because I want people to see that yes, there is money to be made on both sides. Because if you are on the owner side, obviously you're going to make the rental income. On the but that also is going to that income creates a discounted cash flow into the future, and that means that you can go out and buy more cards, and that raises card prices, and I'm excited about that. And then on the renter side, it's the better decks that you can rent, which is obviously going to be far cheaper than buying your own $3,000, $5,000 deck. And the better you can do that, the more you can compete for your deck, and for DEC, Dark Energy Crystals, and for rewards at the end of the season. So, and if you make it to the top, what is it, top 50 now, top 20? I don't know. Somebody gets bonus packs. I've never gotten them because I'm not good enough to play in that level, but that is there. So yeah, so everybody, I want people to come in and have easier access into the game and improve, increase the player base and all that stuff. So let's dive into the numbers here. So this is, let's pull up the spreadsheet. Okay, so over the past week, let's see, 28, so it's going to be 21 through 28, right? Nope, 22 through 28. I brought in 155.8 Steam and 23 SBD, and that comes out to roughly $80. And yesterday was a great day. So the way I do the spreadsheet is, in the morning I wake up, I check my peak monsters, I withdraw the credits that have accumulated over the past day. So I woke up this morning, 6/28, June 28th, and I had 30.9 Steam and 4.5 SBD. So that is good. The numbers of Steam are higher because the price of Steam in US dollars has dropped, and the peak monsters market and the Steam, or the SplinterLands market, is in US dollars. So that's the jump there. But even so, you can see here the US dollars I made 1585 yesterday, which is fantastic. So the way these calculations work, at least from the 26th onward, is I have a reference where I look up the price of Steam on that day, when I do the withdrawal, and then it calculates the US value of the Steam and the SBD. So it's not exactly accurate in the sense that when the payment is made from the renter to the owner, it's calculated in the spot value of Steam at that time. So as the price of Steam fluctuates, then the payment is going to fluctuate a little bit. But to the day is going to be close enough for me. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Anywho, and then this column here is the annualized. So what I did was I took the past 7 days and I multiplied it out, to a full year, and that comes out to $4,250. So theoretically, that's the income based on the past 7 days, and obviously that'll change throughout the year. But it's been going up, ever since I started. So as more renters are coming in and price discovery is starting to happen, then we're getting real numbers basically. So if we go over to another sheet, let me see here. Yeah, that's the right one. I got a lot of tabs here, so you can see. So let's take a look at the overall status of the portfolio. And this is all the contracts, all the things that are for rent right now that are either available or are rented. So you can see overall it's about 50-50. I've got 268 rented. I've got 261 available for $529. That's almost exactly 50-50. The The current contract daily value is $10.30 for those that are rented, and the amount in escrow. So this column is actually the half of the escrow. So assuming that all contracts complete successfully, then I would receive $55 at throughout the next however long those contracts are open. If they break, I'll receive more. So because whoever breaks the contract loses the escrow 100%. So if the owner revokes early, then the escrow goes to the renter, and if the renter breaks it early through non-payment for whatever reason, then the escrow goes 100% to the owner. And I have not done analysis on what the actual splits of that have been. So yeah, I just it's going to be 55 or more, basically. And I'm not too concerned as to how much more, because I'm in it for the dailies, basically. Because the way I price my contracts is, I have the daily amount, and then the escrow is going to be 10 times that. And the reason for that is because we have a 7-day cooldown, and it basically prevents the break in that first 7 days from screwing up the returns. And that's all well and good. And let me just mute this. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's dive in a little bit deeper as far as editions and whatnot. So let's look at how this breaks out by edition. So alphas are 162 rented, 139 available. Betas are 52 rented, 77 available. Promos are 8 rented, 20 available, and rewards are 46 rented, 25 available. And so that's interesting. So the alphas, I accumulated them and the promos basically blind, because this was early on in the game and I didn't know, and nobody knew exactly how this was all going to shape up. So fortunately, I have a lot of the alphas. Obviously, I've got 301 available, and they are mostly in demand. So that's blind luck, basically. The betas, I don't have as many, just in general. I haven't bought as many cards, but they are trending okay. The promos, are tough. I have I've got a max level Nebseni that's gold, basically, and nobody's rented that. So even though he's a fantastic card, there's just not enough of them, it seems, to actually be valued by the player base. A couple, obviously, 8 out of 28. And then the rewards cards, I had a bunch, just kind of a smattering, of cards. And then over the past few weeks, I've been able to look at the market and then target like, okay, these ones are in demand, like the Prismatic and the Lord Arianthus and the Pixie. No, not the Pixie. She's a neutral. So that's that is shaping up to be a much better return. So going forward, rather than just buying everything, I'm being much more precise in which cards I'm going after to provide for the rental. Basically, I want to find things that have low supply and are in demand. That's basically it. Let's see how it breaks down by foil status, and this gets kind of ugly. So if we just look at gold versus regular. I need to refresh this. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, so we got gold versus regular. So we got 153 golds on the market. There are 47 rented, 106 not rented, so it's about 1/3, 2/3. And regulars are kind of the other way. So 221 out of 376 are rented, and 155 are available. So if you're looking for a maximum return, I'm focusing more on the renteds now. So that is my story. I'm going to be pretty much ignoring gold for now. I might round out some of the ones that I already have, and then pretty much just not looking at golds at all. So golds do have the advantage of being, you get a dark energy crystal bonus based on number of gold cards, and you also get a dark energy bonus based on alpha. So if you're playing with alpha golds, then you get huge bonuses. But it's just very expensive. So the return, the amount that I'm able to charge in the marketplace in order to rent those gold cards as a percentage of the cost of the gold cards is much lower compared to the regulars. So that's why I'm focusing on the regulars. And if you want to play in those gold tournaments, then you're just gonna have to pony up the cash basically. And they do pay out a lot more, so there is that. And there's less competition, so there is that. And you do get better dark energy crystal collections, so there is that. And all those things are true. It's just still the numbers don't quite work out for me, and maybe that'll change in the future. I don't know. I'm not going to be selling my golds, but I'm not going to be pursuing them. And then we have I've launched my first free-to-play account. As far as I created a new account. It's called Gold League 001, and I delegated a bunch of gold league level cards to that account, and then somebody's playing with it. I gave them the posting key. There's nothing they can really break with having the posting key because the account doesn't actually own the cards. And our deal is 50-50. So what I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks is I'm going to be setting up more of these accounts, and they're going to be free to play in the sense that there's no upfront cost. People are going to play. They're going to earn dark energy crystals. They're going to earn rewards cards. The rewards cards are, and everything's going to be split. So, for gold, it's going to be 50% to the player and 50% to me. If I do any silvers, it'll be at 30 or 40% to me and 60 or 70% to the player. And then in the diamond leagues, the max level cards, it's going to be 60% to me and 40% to the player. But what we're going to do with the rewards cards is we're going to burn them all. And the reason for that is that we're going to convert everything into dark energy crystals. And we're also going to be reducing supply of rewards cards, which drives up the price, which is good for me. And by converting everything to dark energy crystals, then we have a very clear number that we can then divide cleanly, between the player and the owner. So I was running some simulations where, like, if you got three rewards cards that are common, one rare and one legendary, just as an example, the splitting just doesn't work at all. The legendary is worth 1,500 dark energy crystals as one card, and then everything else is worth 105 dark energy crystals. So you can't split that evenly, and it just gets too out of whack. So rather than doing the picking and choosing thing, we're just going to burn it all. We're going to convert it to crystals, and then we're going to split the crystals. And then you can take those crystals, and then you can convert them to STEAM, and you can buy cards on the market, whatever you want to do. That's all fine. And the goal behind all these free-to-play accounts is that, one, we want to make the game more accessible. Having to come into a new game and put up $10 for a starter pack, even if you have a promo code where you can get in for free, then you're stuck at level 1. It is fun. You play around a little bit, get up to bronze something or other, but then you start getting just hammered. And playing rolling a free account basically and trying to earn crystals and earn rewards cards and build up your deck, it would just take forever. So I want to get people hooked and fast. The more players we have, the more activity we're going to have, the more market value we're going to have, and the better everything's going to be for everybody. So in order to get those people in, we're going to make these free accounts that are free to play, but they are competitive. The gold accounts are at the very top level of gold, so you should be able to edge into Diamond 3 before you get knocked back down and get that higher level of rewards cards. In the max level accounts and the Diamond level accounts, then those you can compete at the very top. Now I am going to say that you're not going to get every card in these accounts. we're going to, I'm picking and choosing. Basically, I'm going to be supplying the cards that are most frequently used. So you're not going to get all the promos. You're not going to get every reward card. You will get all the basics of alpha. You're going to get most of beta, because I'll include the important neutrals, and you're not going to get the beta epic summoners or the beta legendary summoners, and that's just because the cost to benefit on my side just isn't there. You're not going to get any dragons. I'm actually thinking about taking out the Earth Splinter just to reduce cost and make this more accessible. Currently in the current market, the Earth Splinter is the most expensive at all levels of analysis. So in the Diamond League, the Earth Splinter costs about $400, and that's not including Renin or anything. That's just the ones, the commonly used ones, and that is compared to like 250 on the other splinters, 250 to 300. So I might be cutting those out, and then you'll be able to compete with fire, water, life, and death, and so no earth, no dragons, and that's still a determination I haven't quite made, but it's probably going to go that way. And then so when you're competing in the diamond level, then you can actually build up a decent amount of rewards. You'll be making 10,000, 20,000 dark energy crystals per season, and or more, depending on how much you play and how well you do it. So at that point you can start to build up your own deck fairly rapidly. I mean, after a month you could easily be into the gold leagues on your own deck, and so the the whole timeline of things is: new player comes in, they get hooked on a free to play account, then they start having fun, and they say, hey, I'm paying all these dark energy crystals to Neil here, and I want to go off and do my own. Then great, they'll play until they can build up a stake, and then they can go build their own deck, and then they can compete on their own, freeing up that account for somebody else. And then that's how we're going to bring in and cycle the accounts and expand players. So that's the whole deal. And I think it's going to work. And the more people we have in the SplinterLands ecosystem, the better. And that's really the goal behind all of this. And I'll make some crystals along the way.